many did watch virtually? How many on here? Okay, so we got a handful.
We didn't have the food.
I know you didn't have the food. I had it. That was the problem. I had to keep walking and running and doing everything. So I had the food. But now you get the food tonight, not walking with nothing. So, with the mask, everybody, please feel free whatever you would like to do, okay? I go to many libraries, and every library is so different, so whatever you're comfortable with. I'll be wearing it when, you come up, that I serve you, anything like that, I'm going to make a chopped Italian salad, some provolone cheese on it. This is optional, but I said, in Master Shirley Merchants, I said, no, you gotta give me Yeah. And then I'm gonna make a crostini. We're gonna try and do it as back to normal as we possibly can. We're taking baby steps just to make everything just right. I had suggested to all the libraries, I said, let people know you can either take it home, or I got plates and you want to eat it here. A lot of people don't have the dinner. So now, you get both sets of people too that have the comfort zone or want to eat at home. So whatever you decide is fine, okay? And we'll probably do that throughout the winter too. From what I understand, we're doing every other month here now. It's not me, it's what they want, I guess. So I just want you to know that. So December is our next one, and we're going to do a potato and leek soup, and then I'm going to do what's called a chocolate snowstorm cookies. Really, really good. So if you have children, grandchildren upstairs in the children's room, I do these kits and I put them together with the flour, all the different ingredients in there. Feel free to go over there because I did a lot for them. I did a lot of them all over Long Island. I'm going to get into this in a minute, but since we haven't seen each other in almost 2 years, I have to say, Emily, every single night on Facebook, on Zoom, watched me if I was in Michigan, if I was in Alaska, because I started doing, and there's another lady or two that are on there too with Emily. Emily was the first one to kind of start the group. Emily and I guess Susan. Zoe was on there, and it became a nice night for all of us. And we made the best of it going through COVID. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit what I did through it, and then I'm going to start knocking out the food for everybody. Okay? So I did one private event, should I say? Mm-hmm. Okay, I did. You can. These folks over here, I went to their 40th anniversary and made them a dinner. Last September, so happy anniversary.
It was great. He came with all the food, dishes, everything. He cooked everything and mixed everything up in front of us. Like here, we sat in the kitchen, he was at the kitchen cooking and talking with us and all. Did the whole thing, cleaned everything up, washed all the dishes and everything. Yeah.
It was a nice thing. It was nice just to get out and do something different. I did a few other things. I said, during this, the first couple of weeks I said, I'm just taking a break. I've been working hard since I've been 13 years old. So I said, I'm just going to take a break for a little bit. So I played tennis, I walked, I did everything. And then I said, all right, it's not coming back so soon. So what did I do? I made some virtual programs for all the Long Island libraries. I reached out to all the Long Island libraries. We got some at first. Everybody was on a different page. Okay, and then we gradually, more and more started coming. But I said to my wife, I said, I said, it's virtual now. I said, there's no reason I got to stay virtual on Long Island. So I went upstate New York, and I was doing Buffalo, I was doing Niagara Falls, all that. So it was really wonderful. Then I said, all right, now that I went up there, what's next? Go out of state. So I said, I'm going to start going out of state. I started going out of state. What I would do is every day that I did not have a program, and you know what, it teaches my kids hard work and how to take a bad situation, turn it into something positive, to keep making a living, everything, the whole package. And both my boys were working hard during COVID, everything. And I reached out to a different state. Every day I did not have a program. I do 18 different states now. Wow. Massachusetts, Arkansas, New Jersey, help me out. Rhode Island, Emily, right? Connecticut, yep. So,
Not far away, Washington State.
Alaska.
Oh.
I did one in Alaska, yes. Actually, I do one library it's in Arkansas. It's called the Berryville Public Library. If you go on their Facebook page, you'll be able to watch some of my past programs. And what was really fun about doing that was when I did the out of state and did the Arkansas library, their little library and their little grocery store, they have an end cap with Chef Rob's program, all the ingredients that you would need for that night's program. So you turn something and you make it into something fun. So I work with 150 out-of-state libraries now. And I'm still continually doing them. I got so busy, which thank God I did, I had to say, how do you handle this now? So what I do, I made what is called a virtual food festival. So I probably have anywhere from 35 to 55 libraries on it at one time. And they all come to my Facebook page and share it to their page. And I do 3 different dishes in my house. I just did an apple festival. I'm doing another one. So if you're on Facebook, if you go to my page, simply Creative Chef Rob, the next one is October 23rd, and my birthday. It's not yet. So, so I'm doing it that day on my birthday, and then I have a Thanksgiving food festival. I have a cookie workshop food festival, and then in January I'm doing a soft pretzel workshop. Okay, so I'm doing that. So, 2 other things that I did during this. So after you reach out of state, what's left?
Country.
Reach out of country, right? I reached out of country to different chefs. There's all these different websites, as we all know. You can get in touch with anybody. So I worked in Venice, Rome, Tuscany, Santorini, Greece, Hungary, and Turkey. And what I did was, I would teach them one of the dishes that maybe I do right here, and they would turn around the chef and they would teach me one of the things from their culture. It was unbelievable.
From their culture?
What's that?
Will you teach us from their culture?
I have done some online, some I will do at the library, some you just can't do. You know, something wonderful to do online because you say, can't do this at the library. I have a soft pretzel making class coming up, and that's in January, and that's on a Zoom. And when in December, I'll tell you all about that. And then after that, I reached out because I saw that you were able to do food programs and classes with stars. I did a cooking class with Valerie Bertinelli, and then I did one with Gianna. So, Valerie, at first, I was so disappointed because on TV she's like your all-American girl and all that, right? And she was just kind of down, very disorganized when we were doing it, so I was disappointed. So 2 days later, I did find out her ex-husband from Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, had passed away. So that was probably what was going on. Gianna, she couldn't have been more nicer, more kinder, and so organized, and like you had a question, she'd just go like this, and just say, go right ahead, she'd be on the kitchen counter just like that. So I did it with a few other chefs, and you donate money to a food cause, to a food pantry. So that's how we did it. So there was some really good things that came out of this.
What's next, basically?
What was that one?
radio station?
No. Your library, say I'm back. I'm back. So, that's what I wanted to give everybody in a nutshell, because we haven't seen each other in close to 2 years. So, but Emily saw me every night. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We had a good time together. We laughed. It was just great. So I'm going to make a nice big salad for everybody. I love salad. So this has everything from the kitchen sink to it. Okay, so it has sun-dried tomatoes. It has celery. It has fresh tomatoes. Use whatever tomato is the best. Okay. Usually the cheapest tomato is the best tomato because it means it's closest to home. It's in season. So usually that's how it works. Some romaine. I have some radicchio, which is a bitter lettuce. I have some chickpeas, some roasted peppers, red onions. So all in one salad, okay? So I am just going to start chopping everything out, all certain things about everything, okay? And if anybody has any questions or comments, you know, I'm so used to saying that online. Anybody has any questions or comments, put it in the chat. No chat here tonight. No. So I'm just going to make a whole big bowl of it. If you want to take it home, feel free. Actually, for right now, I can lay that down, right? So, anybody, want to take it home? Anybody wants to eat it? I have plates over there with forks, napkins, and I have the plate for the salad right here. So I'm just chop a lot of things up here. Okay, I'm going to chop a lot of romaine. Got some roasted peppers. So they always say don't cut lettuce with a knife unless you're going to eat it right now, okay? Because you're going to be eating this really soon, so you can use the knife. I like to actually just take the romaine, turn it on its sides just like this. Okay. So earlier today I was actually supposed to do a library in Hicksville. Virtually on Facebook, but did anybody get on Facebook tonight? It was down all day, so that class was canceled. So if anybody is watching that one, I'm doing it Saturday at 12 o'clock. Okay? Is it still down? It's up. So I'm using the plum tomatoes for this, using some celery. The sun-dried tomatoes. Sun-dried tomatoes, you can make your own. You can just take the regular plum tomatoes, put a little bit of olive oil, and a little salt, a little pepper, and put them in a 200-degree oven. But guess what? It takes about 12 hours. So why not just buy the jar, you know, right? There's some things that are not worth doing it. Think about the electric, right? Oh my God. An air fryer, I would say more like a dehydrator or something like that. It's not like you want to cook them quick or get them crisp. You just want them to slowly dry out. So, I have never made them in the air fryer. Try them out. Let me know. I do use the air fryer, yes. And Emily and I love it, right? Yeah. It's really, really good. Yes, it is really good. Gets the stuff really crisp, and then also, you know, you're eating healthier too.
I like it because I really get a lot of questions pizza.
Right. So we have a nice, this is almost like the old times, like we have a nice crowd, you know, you never know. I've done about 8 in-person classes already, and some of them I have 8 people, some I've had 4, some I've had 40, you know, so you never know, you know. So I'm so glad, and I was hoping you were all going to turn out. Because I want you guys to have the food tonight. The kids' classes, yeah, so we're starting back the kids' classes in December here. So it'll be like how I used to do it. I used to get here about 3 o'clock, I'd do a 4 to 5 o'clock class with the kids, and then I would do our class here. So that is how we're going to work that, from now on. Not sure what we're making for the kids next time. And of course, whenever, especially nowadays, whenever you come up here, please don't touch any of the food, because we want it to be good for that person that's right behind you, okay? Really, really important. I use the gloves, I'm just really cautious that everything is really nice and fresh for you. How many are taking it home? Do you want to raise your hand? Okay, so probably about 3/4 are taking it home. Yep. I go to some places and, in summer, almost all the meat is there, some all of them take it home too. So tomorrow I am doing a cupcake class. I'm doing Black Witch cupcakes out in East Hampton for children. I haven't been, well, I went once to Montauk during COVID in April just to take a ride to get out of the house, and I haven't been out that way in years. So I will be going there. So we have 18 children signed up, which is really, really great. And then tomorrow night I have a virtual class. I have one on Zoom, and if anybody wants to watch on Zoom, it's at the Iceland Public Library. It's at 7:30. You call them, you get their Zoom. And I'm making a giant chocolate chip cookie pizza. It's really, really good. Okay, so again, everything just goes right in here. I'm going to cut up some of the radicchio. Radicchio can be about $5.99 a pound, but it weighs nothing, okay? So, like 2 of these heads came to about $3, so it's not terrible. I know, food is nuts, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, well, we had to make some changes and do different things to be able to come back to the library to do this. I used to put out about 6 different offerings for about 2 months. And now I have to really tell the library, this is what we're doing this month. That's the only way for it to work, Because, when you have, say, tomatoes left over, you can't waste them. You got to go into that next day program with those tomatoes and all that. So that is how we're doing it and making it affordable to come back and do it. So the radicchio is on the bitter side, okay, but it's really, really good in salads. And if you just want it for the color, just get a little red cabbage. How cheap, about 89 cents a pound. But it's pretty heavy. So did anybody make any of the dishes that I made virtually? Besides Emily? Emily made everything I made. It was unbelievable. It was so good. Is that the chocolate banana snickerdoodle bread?
Yes.
Oh, great. How did it come out? All right. Did you use everything exact?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a little more moist down there.
Okay. Where it was a little wet, like?
A little, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody has too much of something.
It could. That could happen, yeah. So I'm not going to put in the wet stuff yet, because what that does is it weighs it down. So I'm using some roasted pepper, some chickpeas. I'm going to cut up some red onion for this. I did this one virtually, and I loved what I had left over. It was so good. But when I first started doing virtual, you had to train yourself, because I'm used to doing 40 people, and training where I'm like, a family of 4 at home now. You got to really cut back. So at first, it was a little hard, but then I got into the groove where it got better. So I always had a lot of questions from people saying, so what do you do with all the food? So what did I do with all the food? My son is an EMT. He did all the testing during COVID. He did all, and he's the boy that always came here recently, okay? So he did all the shots, everything during COVID. So he was out there, unbelievable, you know, I just would send food to them, and, you know, just, you appreciate that they were out there doing that type of work. So I'm just gonna cut up some celery, you can use the ribs on this, you know, just gives it a nice crunch. On Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. It depended on the library. Your library was Facebook. Yeah, Zoom was not here, at least from my class. But again, if tomorrow night, like you want to watch a chocolate chip cookie pizza, just call the Iceland Public Library. Everybody from here should just call them, and they'll be like, what the heck happened? They're probably going to say, all right, we're not doing it in person anymore, we're just doing virtual there.
How do you get on Zoom? What do you got to download something?
It's like a code, yeah, you know, I had my son, I was very fortunate, I had my son, so, there's an app that will kind of teach you how to do it in that. Yep. Okay, I'm going to put in some of the dried tomatoes. I love sun-dried tomatoes. I think they're great. Just strain them really good. They're on the saltier side, but they have so much flavor. Really a lot of flavor. So I know if you are here, I think I'm not sure if it's after December, it might be January or February. I'll give you both menus that I'm doing in January or February, depending on which month I'm here. But in January, I'm doing Italian lasagna soup. And then I am doing a grilled flatbread with a white bean dip. And then in February, I'm doing a chicken breast with a sun-dried tomato cream sauce, with penne pasta, and a tomato basil mozzarella quesadilla. With a Parmesan crust on it.
All right, I gained 10 pounds.
What's that?
I gained 10 pounds just by that.
Can you stop talking about that food and give us some here?
Like I said, this has got everything in it, and you're going to be eating soon. If it's not oil packed, soak them in oil, and as long as they're dry, just soak them in some oil, some salt and pepper, let them sit overnight, and they'll just soften up, okay? But if you don't have them at home and you're going to buy them, I always suggest just buy them already in the oil. They're already softened for you. Everything. They're really good at like pasta with a cream sauce. So that is good. Of course, if you want to put fresh basil in there is really good. Okay, I'm going to throw some chickpeas in here. Tomato I'll just put on as to order. Some roasted peppers. Roasted peppers, you can either buy a really good roasted pepper already done, buy roasted peppers, or throw them on a barbecue. Okay, throw them on a barbecue, then just put them in a brown paper bag, it'll steam off, or put them in some ice water, and then everything just comes off. I love chickpeas. One of the dishes I did in Rome, Italy recently, virtually, was a chickpea and rosemary fusilli pasta. When the chef was doing it with me, I was like, oh wow, he's kind of cheaping out on me. He's doing it, not too much of it. It was unbelievable. It was so good. It was
I like the crispy one.
the crispy one, pasta ECC, right? That's what Chris liked. Yep. And Chris said to say hello to you. Yes.
That was a good one.
Chris is my younger son who did my filming and editing and everything for 2 years. He was was the best. So I'm gonna hold this up so everybody can kind of see what it's looking like. All right? Now that's Italian. And then I'm just gonna shave up some provolone cheese. And then I'll make the dressing for this and pour that right on. It's gotta have a lot of color. That's the one thing with food, it's gotta have color. When I used to be in the restaurant business, I said, make it look pretty, make it look refreshing, inviting, everything. I'm gonna leave this here so that reminds me, put in the cheese. I'm just gonna make some dressing right now, okay? So I'm gonna use some extra virgin olive oil. Everything just goes right in this bowl, and you just whisk it up. Some extra virgin olive oil. And then red wine vinegar. I really like the red wine vinegar for this one, the Italian. I really like the Progresso vinegar. I think it's really good. Has a nice little bite to it. If you like a little bit of heat, you could put a pinch of the red pepper flakes. So I'm just putting a dot in there. That's for like 40 people. They just a few. Just give it a little bit of Dijon mustard. Boy, you ever see how much this is over at Lidl over there? It's almost like they pay you to take it away. Yeah. There's certain things that are good there, certain things not so good. Yeah, but that's every store. Some have their good meat, some have their vegetables. So some Dijon mustard.
What do you think of the eggs? I don't like some eggs.
I saw it as low as 58 cents a dozen. They're up now. I think they're higher now. And then some honey. The honey just gives it a nice glaze to it. I'm going to put in a little bit of oregano. Just a little bit. A little bit of kosher salt. We don't have kosher salt here. I think it's a little place here. Some kosher salt. Just whisk this up. And just a little bit of fresh garlic. Garlic, you know, if you want it, you can put it in. If you don't like it too strong with the garlic, you don't have to put it in. So I'm just going to smash this up. What I like to do with the garlic is just kind of take the knife and flatten it, and you just kind of open up all that garlic flavor. Out in Riverhead, they have a garlic farm. I actually stopped there the other day and got some garlic there. It's called garlic.
I had ice cream there. Yeah.
Garlic ice cream, right?
The garlic festival.
Yeah. What, is it done already?
Yeah, September.
September, that's what I thought.
People still get the garlic.
Garden of Eden.
Oh yeah, you can get the garlic there, yes. Like Riverhead. Yeah, right on Sound Avenue. Don't go on the weekends now. Oh my God. Yeah, you can't move. It really is. No. I don't like that garlic that's already in the jar. It loses flavor. Sometimes it can have almost like a medicine type taste. If you have to cheat, buy the one that they already peel and have in those containers for you. But when you can just buy one little clove of garlic, you can't get that. You know, it's really, the taste of it. If you like garlic, that's the way to go. You're welcome. So, I'm just going to grate up some provolone cheese. So, since we haven't seen each other in almost 2 years, did anybody know that your car's warranty is up?
Still good.
Boy, did they call enough, huh? Oh my God.
Can you call us about my, for college? I went to college in 50 years.
I haven't heard that one, the college one. I know they have the Amazon scam.
Oh, I
Yeah. Just don't answer them. I'm just gonna shave in here some fresh provolone cheese, just kind of toss it all in with the salad. Might be easy to do it in the water, I'll put it all in. Now you could cube this or just put it all in. Shredding, it just seems to go throughout the whole salad. Yeah, the Social Security scam, right? Oh, yeah, just be careful. I actually, there's an elderly lady that lives about 2 blocks from me. And she used to come to my library classes in Hampton Days. And somehow, I guess during COVID, I got on where I bring in her mail every day. So I go over there every day and I bring in her mail. And then I was noticing, like on occasion, she would go out and when her car was missing, she would just be out, she'd be shopping, but somebody actually does her shopping for her. So I got into a routine, not this summer, the summer before, whenever her car was missing and I was out on my bike, I just kind of keep circling the house until she gets home, and then I just bring in her packages for her. She, you just like, and then one day I was in there, and she picked up the phone, and it was like an Amazon thing, and and I said, no, they were trying to scam. I said, just hang up, just don't answer those calls now, because you can get really, yeah. So I'm just gonna sprinkle in some provolone cheese. You are gonna eat, I know, it's getting late, right? 7:30. But we had to talk first, because we haven't seen each other. What are we gonna do, go home and watch TV? Oh my God. So, and my younger son, who does my filming, he is going to St. Joe's to be a kindergarten teacher. And so he's doing that, and he's also, he works at the school doing that, and then he also does all my filming. As we're kind of going down a bit on filming and going into the libraries. But I have had some libraries say, January, February, we're canceling in-house, we're going back to virtual. I don't think that's happening here, but just other places, that's what they were doing.
How's the other son who's here?
He's good, he's doing good, yeah. He's the one that's doing the COVID sites and all that.
Can you give us name too?
Like the vacations, the travel agent, yes. So, of course, for a while it wasn't good. Now he's very busy with that. People are still, they're traveling. You just be careful, and life goes on, and you just be careful. That's it. So let me hold this up. What it looks like. I'm going to put the dressing in now. I have the roasted peppers in here, and I'll just kind of put the tomatoes on each plate. I'm just going to lightly put the dressing on. I just want to make sure it is kind of coated but not saturated. You're going to make this salad. If you ever want to party it, you put some grilled chicken in here too. Take some fresh ciabatta bread, put it in a pan with a little olive oil, just toast them up, and
That's what the crostini's for, right?
life gets good. What's that?
That's what the crostini is for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Throw it right in, yeah. So I'm going to do a count. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 26, it seems, right? pressing. Cheese kind of gets lost in it. I am going to grate a little bit more cheese. I'm going to turn on this burner here.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody can argue about putting any more cheese in here, would they?
So you can make that for my 70th birthday, right?
Absolutely. But that's in 15 years, right?
Oh. You can do my part.
I don't know if I want to redo this again, you know? I don't know if I want
No, I mean the whole meal, the whole party.
the whole party.
Yep.
Grate this, and then I will start serving everybody. So what I think I'll do is I'm going to put it on the plates right behind me. You ever bring a plate, you can decide you want to eat here or put it right in your container. That way, it's all the same. It's all the same size. Everybody, you know. I did a soup the other day because that was my September class. It was called the Autumn Garden Vegetable Soup. And it was like bring your containers and all that. And you would see some people had these containers. And had these, and, you know, I didn't think, you know, all right, the container I bring is how full it's going to be. But I don't think there.
They want to take it home and freeze it and reheat it.
Yeah. And then while you're even eating this or putting it away, I will start on the crostinis. I have my new convection oven over there. Yep, same as my old one, just shinier. I just said, you know what? All those years, I know some of them I had for 5 years. I said, one of these days I'm going to get to the library and it's going to say goodbye to me. So I said, I gotta start changing. So, I don't like to turn my back in already, but I'm going to do it like this to the side, all right? Yes. And olives in here would be really good if you like olives. Artichoke hearts would be great in here. Yes, the next time we're going to do the potato and leek soup, and then the chocolate snowstorm cookies, and you'll definitely make them for the holidays. I did a virtual summer camp this year. I had about 35 libraries doing it at the same time. It was like a virtual camp for cooking and baking during the summer. So every Monday night I did that, and had them from all the different states and all. My biggest state, I guess, that I worked with was probably Massachusetts. I have 25 libraries I worked with there. Rhode Island, I think I did every library but 2, I think, there. Pennsylvania had a lot too, Connecticut a lot. And then it was like kind of one here in North Carolina, one in, let's see, Arkansas, one in Kentucky. And then you always had to think of the time zone. I had one in Utah as well. So I always had to put Eastern Standard Time. You know, that way it covered myself at least. And you can use the regular provolone, smoked provolone, mild, sharp. Okay? And it varies in types. Oh my God, you know. The more aged it is, the more flavor it has. You didn't see me work on this, did you?
Like watching the
Okay, so I'm just gonna pull up table by table and put tomatoes on each one, okay? And we'll start, we'll go these two tables here, then like this, okay? And then you guys will eat first. So I will just have the plates all up, ready for you to just take, enjoy. You're welcome.
Should we take a full plate?
Yeah, take the whole setup over there.
Okay.
You are welcome. You are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You are welcome.
Yeah, that's why I.
Let me give you a tomato. They went away without your tomato. I think you have yours. You got yours. Yep, yep, I just want to make sure.
All right.
You're welcome. Absolutely. You're welcome. Good to see you. How are you? Good. Good to see you. How are you? Good. There you are. Enjoy it. You're welcome. Did I get everybody? Everybody's eating? That's a good thing. Okay, so then for the crostini, what I'm gonna do, I'm just making a little pesto first. Now, you can put this together really any which way you want. I toasted the bread already, I'm using ciabatta bread. Okay? And one thing I want to do, I want to turn on this burner right here. I'm going to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in here. And I want to just blister some tomatoes. Normally, I'm using the little cherry tomatoes, but they didn't look as good, so I went with the plum. Okay. So any tomato will do. I'm just going to cut up all the tomatoes. I want to get them really hot. I want to caramelize them. I hope whoever is eating it, you're enjoying it. Great, great, good, good. Thank you. So when you buy the tomatoes, what you always want to do is store them on a counter just like this, because that way the moisture doesn't get through to them. Okay, and it'll last a lot longer. You say it now, I tell you. Did anybody go on any big trips recently? Anybody?
The Big E.
The Big E. I haven't been there in years. How was it this year?
It was good.
It was good, right? I want to go there again.
Yeah.
And I was that way, but it was the wrong, Labor Day, I was around that area. I was in Lake George and then Boston. And when I was in Lake George, I'm walking down the street, going to a supermarket, and I hear Chef Rob. And it was a librarian from here. And then about an hour later, walking down the street in Lake George, I hear a lady open up her car door and she's like, Chef Rob. It was a lady from Sachem Library. My wife said, it's over. You can't go away at all. Very small world. So I'm getting this oil nice and hot. Okay. Again, I just want to kind of caramelize the tomatoes. I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper on them. Here. You know, when we first started going back in person, I said, you know, I had a few libraries say yes, a few libraries say we want to stay virtual. I was like, that sounds good for me. I was like, I couldn't see from going at home, stepping into my dining room for almost 2 years, to loading my car, unloading my car, feeding 40 people. So it's a nice way to just kind of ease into it. So some things just worked out nicely like that. You didn't get a salad. You want a salad?
Yeah, sure.
Come on over. Come on over. I didn't say There you are. And there's forks and stuff over there, okay? Sure. So you can take the pesto, put it right on here, put it under the broiler, or you can reverse it, which is what I'm going to do now because I want the tomatoes to kind of caramelize. As long as all the flavors are on here, then it's all good. So I'm going to take some fresh mozzarella cheese. Just going to kind of tear it so it goes onto each one, and you just kind of want to broil it onto it, okay, onto the crostini. Smoked mozzarella, the plain mozzarella, either one is fine. You want to use the provolone cheese for this? That would work great too. Just a nice appetizer. So I'm doing this one again on Wednesday in Hapa. I have 40 people there, and then I am doing it in, let's see, Nassau. Somewhere in Nassau now. On Thursday. I don't know where I got all my calendar. In person? It's 10 years in person. Yeah, 10 years in person. Virtual, about a year and a half. You know, being with like every year, just us having normalcy again, I love this. But there's nothing like just stepping into your dining room and then going to the living room and saying, I'm home from work. You know, there's something with that, you know, so the combination I think is a really nice thing, and I think that's what I'm going to have for probably a long time, combination. Put these tomatoes in here. Now, I have a library in Massachusetts that said to me, your hotel to stay up here. I said, you know, I said, I'm booked now for quite a while, but I said, I would love, it would be a nice vacation way, just something fun to do. And so we're going to talk. And she booked me virtually all the way till the end of 2022. Wow. You know what library, right? Yeah. Right? It's been wonderful, aren't they? Really wonderful. You know, I met and talked with so many different people, you know, over COVID through all these different states. And like the one from the Taft Library, when I was up in Massachusetts, we were trying to get together, but the time it just didn't, you know, just didn't get together. And she said to me, she goes, do you know how popular you are in Massachusetts? I'm like, oh, God. I said, that, I thought Long Island was good enough. I said, thank you for saying that. There was, it wasn't that library, but there was a couple libraries that did a newspaper article on me, and then I had a couple TV stations that did some of my food festivals, and they put it on their page. If you go, one of them was in Connecticut, the Lucy Robbins Library, and if you go on their page, you will see like Channel 7, ABC News in Connecticut saying what to do this weekend, and one of them was my food festival. So it was nice. It was a nice day.
You never made it to the cruise ship.
Never made it to the cruise ship. I didn't want to go last year, though. You never know, but you know what? Just being back here and being normal a little bit, and that's a good thing. And your library did a lot with the children. They did a lot, you know, they were very nice to keep me employed during this. You know, because not every library was on that same page. Everybody was so different. Some libraries didn't even do any virtual. So I am going to pop these into the oven. I just want to kind of get it broiled and let that cheese nice and melted. So if anybody's wondering what this oven is, if you're new to the class, anybody new to the class? So I'll start from fresh. My name is Rob. No. This oven here, I got this a couple of years back and just kept it in the box brand new. I bought it when Kmart was all around and they were like $69 on sale. 69, I think they're like 99 to 129 from like an Amazon or something like that. Okay, so I'm just going to keep an eye on these tomatoes. Again, I just want them to kind of caramelize. It does not air fry, but they sell ones like that will. Yeah.
What brand is that?
Hamilton Beach, which is no fancy anything, you know, but it's great. So I am just going to put in some fresh basil here. I have some fresh, beautiful fresh basil here. Okay. The way to treat it really good is keep it good like this for a week. Put it in some water and just slip the ends every day. Okay. So I'm just going to twist these off here. Just putting this right in here. This. So I'm making a lot because we've got a lot of people here. I'm putting all this basil right in here, a little bit of kosher salt. Now this one, I don't put any Parmesan cheese in here because it's the mozzarella cheese that you're really going to taste and all that. And then I'm just going to put some roasted pecans. Okay. I had this lady came up before. She says, "Thank you for using the pecans," because she says the pine nuts are just out of control. And they really, really are. They're absolutely crazy in that. So just sprinkle them in. Put in some extra virgin olive oil. And then some garlic. tomatoes, see how they're just kind of getting, let me get one that's more, kind of getting nice and soft. And you just put this right on top. If I can get it, it's like fishing. Just like that. Okay. Here it is. So I'm just going to pulse this. And then just take a spatula, go against the side here, just drop everything down in here. Need just a dot more of the extra virgin olive oil. I like this one, it's called Supremo Italiano. It's a really good oil. So I'm just gonna set this up. What I like to always do, take that blade out of here, so that way I remember I go home with all my fingers. Put it over to the side. So these tomatoes are perfect. So this is exactly what I want. So I'm just going to let them kind of cool just a little bit. Put that right on here. So I'll burn the plastic. I'm just going to check on my Crostini's. Couple minutes. So while that is cooking, I'm just going to go over about this, the balsamic syrup. This is just regular balsamic vinegar, and I said I better not stay out in the library. They want me to keep coming back. So what I did was I reduce it down at home. I have a barbecue, so I do it outside. So this way my neighbors say, "What the heck is Rob cooking today?" So I do that, and then at the very end, I just put in a little bit of brown sugar, because the vinegar and the sugar, just to kind of give it a nice balance. And you drizzle this on, so it has the crostini with the smoked mozzarella, it has the caramelized tomatoes, the pecan pesto, and then the balsamic drizzle. And the balsamic drizzle, it has a lot of flavor. So when I do call everybody up, please just come up with your plate, that little plate. Okay, or if you still have a big plate, that's fine too. Okay. But not yet, not yet. Don't start your engine. I'm actually gonna leave that right on here and leave that turned off. Right here. So I'm gonna make a few more because I think I'm shy of a few. So when they come out of the oven, I do want to try and pop the other tray right in there. So back lastly, I guess right after our party that we did at your house, I went to Vermont a week later, and October 1st, like the foliage up there was just unbelievable. And so I went up to Vermont then, and it was so safe, so open, everything. And our waitress actually had told us that it was getting so busy up there. People were just buying houses up there like crazy in Vermont. She said we had over 3,000 houses for sale when the pandemic started. She says they're down to 19. It just boom, boom. It was unbelievable.
So you're saying that after you left our house, you had to get away for a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
That tired me out.
I really had a good hour. Okay. So that should be ready to come out now.
nice and melted, just like that. I'm gonna put them together, and then I'll start calling up. I'm gonna do this side first now, and just say, I know sure, I think you're the only one that's new, so I always play fair. I do one side, and the next dish I do this side and come home. Right? Don't I play fair?
Yes, you did.
I try. So I'm gonna load this with some tomatoes, some pesto. I am gonna put pesto on each one first. So the biggest virtual class that I had, one day on Zoom, I had 141 people. And you know where it was? It was the Girl Scouts of Wandsworth. So I started doing like the Girl Scout groups and all that. And they said we never was able to do cooking because we have so many Girl Scouts and do it, and they said virtual. So now that's something we're booked till the end of 2022 with the Girl Scouts now. And so it opened up a whole new, everything, for many people it did. Is that for me?
So Chevron, with the new library being built, are they gonna have a kitchen area for you to use?
Which one?
Yeah.
For this library, they're expanding, do you know if they're gonna have a kitchen area for
You
you?
don't tell me nothing. I don't know, but I do know, like Bayport Blue Point, their library is opening up in another month, and they have a big professional kitchen. So every area is so different of what they can do, whatever. You know what? I wouldn't be disappointed because I have all my own stuff and everything like that. So if they had it, I don't have to bring an oven, I don't have to bring a burner. But a lot of times, like if they have an oven or a burner, I have my back to you.
Yeah.
There's one library, Half Hollow Hills, that the director came to me before they redid their library, and I haven't been to the new one yet, but she says, I want your input on what you think we should get and all that. And I said, I would put an island like this, put the oven here, the burner here. I said, because that way my back is in front to everybody all the time. He's like, I'm glad I spoke, and I said, I am too. Yeah, so. All right, so I am going to start serving everybody. Take these. Just be careful that I'm hot. So I have to do these in stages. So like these, and consider yourself a table back there. Okay, you're a table. So you three come on up first, and then we'll kind of work like this to the back. Okay. But I'm going to have to put some together as well. And I'm just going to put some of this balsamic drizzle right on it. Come right up. Anybody? Yes, this is the balsamic. You're welcome.
Yeah, they all have things that they each want to challenge, you know, she's just, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they have.
This,
She looks at home like, oh my God.
now, right now it's the package, but in December, they will be where there may be something major. I would say, grade child, go up to children after this. You just need their, whatever library information, and have their information. You could probably call them too. Yes, yeah.
That was fun.
Then we did the games, right?
Chinese.
Yeah, yeah. Right? So much flavor going on.
I'm cutting you on.
No. Get in the back of the line. You're the last table anyway, so.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You never know. It's 8:08.
Yeah, we are.
Time is this thing?
We're gonna need to do
You want
meetings
that,
gonna be.
just the way you
Oh.
want.
You're gonna be cutting it close.
Yeah, but you know how I drive. I'll be I'll make it.
You do 80 in reverse.
Different quality, yeah, different quality, I think it's a better taste too.
When are they doing the book sale? You know, when they're doing the book sale?
They did it Saturday and Friday.
Oh, they did it already.
Yeah. My wife got a lot of books.
Oh,
Go to a restaurant for another $3, right? It's unbelievable. Feel like we're on the LAE, it's bumper to bumper. You could fight over it. You're welcome.
That was like the other day, I was coming home from work, and there was a cement truck over the guardrail. They actually had the entire expressway closed down, and they had a crane in the middle of the expressway hooking up to get the cement
to
truck
get it
off the guardrail.
cement truck. Holy cow.
I'm not, it looked like, in my view, it looked like somebody cut the cement truck off. Hopping over the guardrail.
That gotta be, my
I
God.
was looking for it Tuesday, you figured
Yeah, you would think, right? I mean, that's,
nothing.
they don't ever try to lock what goes on in towns. They don't tell you what goes on in the town.
Well, this was
They're taking on a
in
thing.
hot dog area.
They used to put them.
Right around the circle, 5, 4, 3. And the west down lane, and I was like, both sides were back combined. Rubbing in.
This stuff.
And then I gave it off.
Well, I know you guys see how that goes. But this stuff might be more. Yeah. I wouldn't have it for you. I wouldn't have well, my husband, he's like,
Oh, thank you. There was sounds great. Come on now. No, it's sorry. Good to see you. Is it the last note? Thank you, Chef Rob. Good night. Each thing is different, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Zoom, anything like that. Yeah, if you're gonna do one, pull down, just say, what do I just do? Just say, I'm doing this, just say, help me out. You're welcome. Good night. Good night. Good night. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. To everybody, thank you for coming. Stay, if you're eating, stay, eat, whatever, all right? Thank you. It was great to see us all again. Stay well. I'll see you